It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Good morning, and welcome to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are indeed broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. It is Tuesday morning, January 6th, 2026. And of course, it's time for the Morning Rundown, brought to you by our friends at the Glock Store, glockstore.com, located just a few miles from the airport, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So here we go. Here's the Morning Rundown for Tuesday, January 6th, 2025. January 6th, 2026. Can you believe I did that? Yes, indeed. Well, number one, it is the 5th anniversary of the riot at the Capitol, the January 6th riot. And so we'll have some reflections on that. We'll try to get our friend Stuart Parks, who was wrongly convicted and wrongly imprisoned for, 5.5 months in a federal incarceration facility in Memphis. So that's number one, 5-year anniversary of J6. Number two, the Maduro arraignment was yesterday. Big time legal team representing him. This is going to take more than a year, maybe 2 years. Tom Pappert will give us the details on that at the bottom of the hour. Number three, fallout from the Tim Walz dropping out of the governor's race in Minnesota due to the fraud scandal story. E.J. Haas, 12 years lived in Minnesota, will be here. A refugee from Minnesota who's moved here to Middle Tennessee. So we got that going on. We've got number four, the person arrested for breaking windows trying to get into VP Vance's house. Wait for it. We knew this would be the case. A tranny, born male, transitioning to female, son of wealthy Democrat donors. Number five, George Conway. Remember him? Yeah, he's the estranged former husband of Kellyanne Conway, the impeachment attorney that's part of the Lincoln Project. He's running for Congress in New York City. Yeah, on a platform of, wait for it, impeaching Donald Trump. We may have a little bit of that clip to show you. Number six, Mark Kelly, senator from Arizona, Democrat, doubling down on belligerence after his seditious video clip and the impending demotion and stopping of his retirement funds from Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Yeah, he's doubling down. Not a good plan. Hour three, Clint Brewer will talk about that. Number seven, Kevin Dyson, he of the Music City Miracle and the Tennessee Titans, will join us next week to talk about his Music City Academy charter school. Number eight, speaking of education, here in Tennessee, the Tennessee Comptroller's Office issued a report on the education scholarships. Tom Pappert will talk about that at the bottom of this hour. Number nine, in Minnesota, Hilton is denying lodging to Department of Homeland Security people or anybody involved in the deportation and rounding up of illegals. Number 10, this is interesting, a white man who's a clarinetist, who won a blind competition. That's how they do it in symphonies. Was denied a job with the Knoxville Symphony due to DEI. How about that? Due to DEI. Guess who he told about this? He told Harmeet Dillon, who is, of course, the Assistant Attorney General in charge of civil rights. And she said, head of Knoxville Symphony, we have some questions for you. How about that? So there you go. That is the Morning Rundown for Tuesday, January 6th, 2026. We do that every time, miss the year, but it's 5 years after J6. It is brought to you by our friends at the Glock Store. And by the way, just a reminder, glockstore.com. Today, it's the last day for the New Year's sale there. Basically, you can get $50 off any optic and $100 off any slide cut or compensator cuts. So there you go. New sale at glockstore.com, glockstore.com. And if you've never shot a gun in your life, had been the case with me, you can go there, and the trainers are outstanding. You can go to one of their Shoot 270 rooms and learn how to shoot. I highly recommend it. And again, it's not one of those narrow lanes where you shoot. It's a 270 degrees of a circle. You can look to your far left, you can look to your center, you look to your right, and that's much more practical and a much safer way and more effective way to learn how to shoot. Glockstore.com, Glockstore.com, located just a few miles from the airport right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, so nothing says, let's start off the new year right, like another DEI case here in Tennessee. We've got this clip. It's kind of interesting. This fella is, I think his name is James Zimmerman. And apparently he had been a clarinetist with the Nashville Symphony at the Schermerhorn 5 or 6 years ago. And as I recall, I think they fired him because he wouldn't comply with DEI. I think I've got that right. And so he's been looking for a gig. Being a musician is a challenging life. And I think he's made a living in the interim 5 years as a clarinetist, performing and probably teaching would be my guess. But he wanted to get back in the world of performing with symphonies. And the way this works in symphonies is these are all, nonprofits. And if there's an opening, the way they do it now is they do what's called a blind audition. And sometimes they just do it, remotely via Zoom, and they don't even they just listen to you. You play a piece from, something that they do. And they have lots of people competing for these jobs. It's not easy to get. Well, turns out this guy apparently won the blind competition, but he was denied a job because of DEI. And, well, here we go. Let's play the clip, and we'll talk more about it in a bit. James Zimmerman.
My name's James Zimmerman. I'm a clarinet player. You may not have heard of me, but if you've been to Disney World or played video games or watched Netflix, you've heard my playing. I'm a session player in Nashville, and I also work in big tech. Before tech, I was principal clarinet of the Nashville Symphony for 12 years, but in 2020, I got canceled for resisting DEI. It's a long story, easy to Google if you feel like it. So last summer, I took the blind audition for principal clarinet of the Knoxville Symphony, practiced like a madman for 2 months, and won the audition unanimously. I was very pumped. Until 2 days later when their CEO called to tell me, "We heard some things about your time in the Nashville Symphony," and refused to give me the job, wouldn't communicate with me, and gave the job to my runner-up, an obvious DEI hire who's still in college. Which is not just uncool, it's illegal. So a couple weeks ago I sued them for a year's salary plus $25,000 to compensate me for the 100 hours I spent practicing for the audition they invited me to, with the understanding that they'd give me the job if I won. But more than that, I'm suing because these orchestras can't keep throwing out their best players to make room for diversity hires and putting race and politics above merit and skill. All this does is lower the quality of the music, alienate audiences, and turn the arts into politics. The Nashville Symphony got away with acting like this in 2020, but maybe the Knoxville Symphony shouldn't be able to in 2025. I wish I didn't have to do this. I was just looking to get back in the game, put 2020 behind me, and earn money for my kids' college doing what I love, but if I'm blacklisted, it's either push back against the people in charge or walk away, and if Knoxville thought I was walking away from this, they were sorely mistaken. Hopefully I'll win my lawsuit and make an example of the Knoxville Symphony, and orchestras will go back to hiring the best players the way they did before DEI ruined the business. It's either that or leftists keep running orchestras into the ground until they're gone completely, all in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Give me a break. So follow me and see how the fight unfolds. I'll be doing some fundraising as well as posting clarinet clips and pictures of bread. Thanks for watching. Wish me luck.
That was a very well-produced video by James Zimmerman. A well-done job. Now, it's interesting. I think he's probably filed that in federal court. I'll see exactly where he's filed it. I think he meets the threshold. You need to have it like $75,000 to file in federal court. And I think the claim is a violation of his civil rights. And look, we wish him well. We'll try to get him on. Hey, we'll have more when we get back. Lots of things to talk about. A belligerent Mark Kelly, a Hilton hotel in Minnesota not allowing DHS agents to stay there. Really? Back after this on Michael Patrick Leahy.
Favorite team to win a championship game, only to come up short and settle for runner-up. Perhaps you prayed for a promotion that you were passed over, and there's always the lottery ticket purchase. You know, praying for a winning $1 million ticket. In these circumstances, you might feel like your prayers were not heard or answered. Don't be discouraged. Your prayers were heard and answered, just that the answer was no. You see, the Lord answers prayers in the same way a good father answers requests from his children. Even Jesus was turned down in the prayer to his Father, requesting to let the pain and suffering from the cross pass from him. However, the Lord added to this request, "Not my will, but thy will be done." With every prayer of petition, consider ending it in this manner: "Not my will, but thy will be done." The Lord hears and answers all prayers. It's just that sometimes he says no. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging supplements clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Maybe you haven't heard about us. We're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless has you paying for more data than you might need. Why? They might want you to cover the costs of younger people who do use all that data. If you're not using the data, you're probably being used. We've heard time and time again that some Big Wireless customers get stuck paying hundreds and even thousands more for years and years because they think it's hard to switch. Not with us. It takes just about 20 minutes and you can change your plan anytime without extra charges. We use the same towers as the big guys, so you'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Our plans start at just $20 a month, and for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
This is State Senator Mark Pouty. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pouty.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pouty, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Well, our theme for this segment is the left is doubling down, tripling down on crazy and belligerence. And we've got a couple examples of that. By the way, if you want to call in, our number is 615-814-2848, 615-814-2848. And our producer, Patrick, is going to take 3 words from you. Number 1, your name. Number 2, the state in which you're calling from. And number 3, your topic. And really, I know Patrick is a great conversationalist, but he's very busy moving all the blinking lights around here and making sure the show runs. And so as much as he would love to talk with you, he doesn't have time. So 3 words: name, state of residence, and topic. That's what we need. and we'll get you on if you do that. If you don't do that, you're gonna goof up the show, and we don't want that. All right. So the theme here, by the way, 615-814-2848, and you can watch us on X. Just go to Michael P. Leahy, and you can see us live there. And also on, where else are we on? We're on Fire Stick and Apple TV and Roku and YouTube. So we're pretty much everywhere. We'll be adding Rumble shortly. I keep promising that, but yes, we will. Okay, so let's go to this. This is a longer clip, but I'm going to play it because the big controversy is a Hilton hotel in the Minneapolis area has a policy, an announced policy, that they will not rent a room to a DHS agent or an ICE agent. Now, that violates innumerable laws, but that was their policy. And this particular Hilton hotel apparently was bought about a year ago, and it's a franchised operation, but by 4 guys with Indian names I can't pronounce. Okay, so are they American citizens? Are they not? We don't know, right? But nonetheless, they announced their policies. We're not renting rooms to DHS agents or ICE agents. Okay. Now, this gained attention in the public. And then the Hilton chain said, oh, no, this isn't true. We fixed it. And then the local group that owns this Hilton said, apparently have told the Hilton management, yeah, we'll let DHS agents stay there. But another YouTuber, influencer, Nick Sortor, not the Nick Shirley guy that did all the Minnesota fraud stuff, but Nick Sortor, it's been kind of on the scene a little bit longer than that. But so he decided, okay, I'm going to go to this hotel and see if they will allow and present, I guess he presented himself or the bookings for Department of Homeland Security Agency. This is a longer clip, so stick with it. But we'll play it right now. Nick Sortor attempting last night, 10 o'clock last night, after, 24 hours after Hilton said, oh, yeah, we'll let DHS agents stay at this hotel. Let's play the clip right now.
All right, and wish me luck.
So it's a cold Minnesota night. He's walking, as you can see.
That is straight up black ice.
He's going into the main lobby of the hotel. And a conversation is about to ensue.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. Do you have any rooms for tonight?
You should, yeah.
Okay. Like how many? Could we get like 10?
10?
I mean, yeah, I know that might be.
Did you already make reservations, by any chance?
No.
No? What's the name?
It would be just Nick. I'll just put it under my personal. I don't know if you can use a government rate or not, but.
Let's see. It depends because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Is it what agency is it for?
Yeah, pause it here just a minute. Now, no, this kid is at the front desk. You know what this is like. You go into a hotel late at night. There's somebody there, and maybe that's not the place they want to be, but it's their job. And this kid now saying, "Oh, because the first clue is government rate." Oh, it depends, says the kid. It depends. What he's underlying is, well, which agency? He says, when he says Department of Homeland Security, he says, let's see. So let's continue with this clip.
They'd be Department of Homeland Security.
So we're not accepting people from immigration, ICE agents, DHS into our property. It's just the management ownership.
Okay, stop. Okay. This was last night, 10 o'clock, at the hotel, the Hilton Hotel, owned by another group. I think it's like some properties, Ever Ready properties, something like that, owned by 4 guys from India, or 4 guys with Indian names. And last night, they're telling this guy, no, our policy is we don't rent rooms to DHS agents or ICE agents. Huh. How about that? Let's continue.
I thought that changed today. Was that?
I just talked to my the owner of the building, and he didn't say there has been any changes. So
really? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's just policy, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's not your fault. Totally,
Yeah.
Totally get that. So they actually said that was like, I mean, honestly, this is the most convenient location. So
right.
It's like, so they told you no, that there's no.
Yeah, no immigration.
Well, DHS isn't all.
Yeah.
Immigration. Okay. Okay. So even with the thing that they said earlier, where they mentioned that there was a statement that they put out, you know, saying that they accept everybody and.
I haven't been informed. I could call my owner right now if you want.
Yeah.
And ask him what's.
That'd probably be good. Just trying to figure it out. So because it's somebody said, I didn't know it was this location, but Ever Peak Hospitality, right?
I'm new here,
okay.
so I don't really know what's.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so let's just pause this for a moment. So here's the deal. I'm new here, new kid. But the policy communicated to this kid at this Hilton Hotel in Minnesota, we don't rent to DHS agents or ICE agents. Looks like a civil rights violation to me. Okay. So let me call my owner. So here we go. He's going to call the owner.
Yeah, I'll just call him. Ask
Yeah,
him
that's
not
a pretty good idea.
any...
Just to be clear, like
Right,
I'm not trying to cause any problems. It's just like it's 11 o'clock now.
Right.
So
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. I'll be right back.
Okay. Thank you.
So the kid's calling, and now he's coming back. Here he comes.
Yeah, so nobody's answering my calls right now.
Okay.
Because of the time. But
Gotcha. Okay, so this is Everpeak though, and they said Everpeak Hospitality has moved swiftly to address this matter as it was inconsistent with our policy of being a welcoming place for all. We are in touch with the impacted guests to ensure they are accommodated. We don't discriminate against any individuals or agencies and apologize to those impacted. It's kind of long. I don't know. I was kind of surprised. I thought we were good to go. Like I said, not everybody.
Okay, so let me just kind of continue. What's going on here? So what's this kid going to do right at the front desk? What would happen? Now the kid's probably working his way through college or something like that, and you know it's not an easy job to be a night clerk at a hotel. It's it's a lot of, you got customer interaction. You got to do it right. You got to get the money, and the hours are tough. So this kid is there, and what's his option? He's informed the policy is you cannot have a DHS or ICE agent there. Okay, so what happens if he books the room? What happens the following day? Does he get fired? That's what he's thinking. Probably get fired. Now, asterisk. I think we have to be honest. This is a little bit of a ruse, right? Because the guy was going to book the room. He actually is not a DHS agent, right? He's not with ICE. And he couldn't really qualify for the government rate. Couldn't do it, right? Why would that be the case? Well, because he's not government. Now, it looks like he'd be willing to pay for 10 rooms. So he's kind of misrepresenting the situation here. But it doesn't matter because in all likelihood, if this were a real DHS agent, probably would be denied. Guess who's interested in this? Yeah, Harmeet Dillon, Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. When we come back, Tom Papper joins us. He's going to give us the details on all the due process that the alleged narco-terrorist from Venezuela under indictment, the former dictator, Nicolas Maduro. What kind of due process is he going to get? A lot, apparently. Back after this.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation. Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
On Golf with Jay Delsing, hear the stories of star makers like Scotty Scheffler coach Randy Smith.
Randy, thank you so much for joining us today.
I knew that there was going to be something real close to what we're looking at when he was 6.5 years old.
Wow.
I was one of the luckiest guys in the world to be standing on the right street corner when the right bus came up.
Plus the latest equipment news and tips on playing better golf. Golf with Jay Delsing, Saturday mornings, 11 Eastern, 10 Central on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
My fellow Americans, I have to tell you about my good friends at D.T. McCall & Sons. They have furniture and appliances and a lot more. They've been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they're not going to rip you off. No hidden charges, no delivery charges, no charges for all of the crazy things. These are sick people at the lumber yards. These are very sick people. They charge you for cords and hoses and haul off. They charge you for all of these things. They call them hidden charges. It's the type of surprise that you don't want to see. It's like an October surprise, but it's worse. D.T. McCall & Sons, they're not going to do that. They're great people. They're going to give you a great deal. With locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, D.T. McCall & Sons will give you the deal of your life. Check them out today or go to dtmccalls.com.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are joined on our Zoom newsmaker line right now by our very good friend, our lead reporter at the Tennessee Star and the Star News Network, and, might I add, the winner of the prestigious Dow Prize for Best Local Journalism in the country, along with yours truly and Christina Botteri, our executive editor, the one, the only Tom Pappert. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Michael.
You know, it never gets old announcing that you are the winner of the 2025 Dow Prize for Best Local Journalism, does it?
I think it will take many years to get tired of hearing that, Michael.
Now, Tom, one of the areas that we've been reporting on is due process. And as you know, due process is guaranteed in the Fifth Amendment and the 14th Amendment. The Fifth Amendment for any federal prosecution, 14th for any state prosecution. In this instance, Nicolas Maduro, the alleged narco-terrorist, the former dictator of Venezuela, was indicted in 2020 on federal drug trafficking charges, and as you know, was captured early morning hours of this past Saturday, transported dramatically to the Southern District of New York, where he was arraigned yesterday, along with his wife, on all these charges. Now, the due process rights that no one shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, it actually says no person. Doesn't say specifically citizen. So a foreign person who has been indicted is entitled to due process of law. Manuel Noriega had due process when he was indicted and tried on these very same similar charges back, I think, 1989. How long did it take that trial to go? Well, how long until the trial happened? How long did the trial take place? And are we looking at that kind of situation with Nicolas Maduro and his wife?
I think it will be very similar, and I think that is frankly good news. The trial took place in September 1991, so not terribly long after the arrest, but quite a while. The arrest happened on January 3rd, 1990, but it lasted only 7 months, and this is including the claims by Manuel Noriega that he could not be prosecuted because he was a state sovereign. Most legal experts are saying this is the same argument that Maduro will use, and maybe his argument is a little bit different because Noriega sort of was the puppet master and always had somebody else pretending to be the president on his behalf, whereas Maduro rigged an election and was technically sworn in as the president of Venezuela. But I don't think that the legal arguments will fundamentally be very different. I do think that this will be a short trial with the possible exception of what goes on with this judge. He is 92 years old. We're talking about the person who was appointed all the way back in 2020, still is on the case today. His name is Judge Hillerstein, 92 years old. It stands to reason, Michael, that this guy, he's a Clinton appointee. He may not be there in another 18 months just because, I mean, he's 92, not saying anything bad about the guy. Beyond this, though, he is another one of these liberal district court judges. In fact, he is the liberal district court judge who first ruled that the Trump administration was exceeding its reach when it tried to deport Venezuelans using the Alien Enemies Act. So we know how this guy feels about immigration topics. It will be interesting to see how he feels about Maduro. It is interesting, or perhaps worth noting, that he is an Orthodox Jewish man. Maduro has not exactly been a friend to Israel. He's been letting Hamas fighters allegedly train in the jungles of Venezuela, so perhaps that will have some impact.
So there have been a lot of reports about who will be representing Maduro and his wife. Give us an update on these attorneys and how much how much do you think that the defense is going to cost?
Well, Michael, as you might expect, this is going to be a very expensive trial. This is going to be a very expensive case. So far, Maduro has retained an individual who a very astute legal analyst will know the name. His name is Barry Pollock. And this is the guy who represented Julian Assange. And actually, the person who was representing Assange, the WikiLeaks publisher and whistleblower, last year when he obtained the plea agreement with the Biden administration that saw Assange finally leave jail as a free man. And before that, Pollock was part of the Enron defense. He actually represented one of the Enron accountants who was one of only a handful of top officials and executives at that company who was acquitted at trial. So he's pulled out possibly the best lawyer you can imagine. They don't publish their rates, Michael. I wish they did, but when they don't publish their rates, I've done some Googling. I think you're talking 1,000 to 1,500 and well north of that.
Yeah, well north of that
hour.
Yeah, it
now
kind of weird,
when
isn't it?
And when you consider the length and breadth of this trial, I mean, I think you're going to be talking thousands of hours of work.
Yeah. Where's the money coming from, by the way?
Well,
no,
so
seriously.
Maduro, of course, is one of the most personally wealthy people on earth. All the wealth of Venezuela, if you read the allegations in the indictment, is his. He treats it as his personal piggy bank. The question is, he is a sanctioned person. So is everybody else that he knows in the state of Venezuela. So that's a very good question. Where is the money coming from? And one must wonder if these lawyers are a little bit worried about accepting money from sanctioned individuals.
I think, that'd be very interesting about this to see, where's the money? Because do you think any of these guys would represent him without getting a big retainer? I don't think so.
It is interesting.
I don't think so.
I know that there's a lot of interest in the case merely because it's so high profile. Even if, the lawyer represents him and loses, it's forever going to be a feather in their cap and mentioned on their website that they represented Maduro at the U.S. federal court. But I don't think, just from, again, the sheer breadth of what this trial is going to take, I have a hard time believing anybody would do it pro bono as they do our friend Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Well, I half expected to see the same team representing Kilmar Abrego Garcia to put their hand up and volunteer to represent Nicolas Maduro. If you listen to Jonathan Turley, the case seems to be pretty strong against Maduro, stronger, he thinks, than the case against Manuel Noriega back in 1991, when after a 7-month trial, Noriega was convicted and sentenced to 40 years in prison.
I think that that's right. I think the case is absolutely stronger against Maduro. If you read the indictment, I mean, this is something that you would see in a Hollywood movie, and yet the government says it's able to prove all of this. I think with Maduro, it was especially a little bit more flimsy because you had former U.S. support for his government.
You mean Noriega?
I'm sorry, with Noriega,
Yeah.
it was more confusing. With Maduro, it's the exact opposite. This involves a lot of alleged crimes, not just against U.S. companies, but against U.S. individuals. And I think that the government's unified stance against this country and its communist agenda for decades now is going to be in favor of the prosecutors. Now, another possibility, of course, you have this judge, 92-year-old Clinton appointee, but this is also going to be in the Southern District of New York. So one must wonder exactly what the jury pool is going to be like, whether they are going to be like those New Yorkers we've seen protesting on the street outside the jail, where you have Venezuelans saying, oh, this is great, I can't believe they finally got him. And then you have these white liberal protesters saying, oh, this is so terrible, we've kidnapped a foreign dignitary, we need to send him back.
Yeah, and it's interesting, though, if you look at it, the Southern District of New York, actually, it's not the same as the New York City, because the jury pool, Tom, because it's a wider area, covers a number of suburban counties, and in addition to that, so I'm looking at the map right now. The jury pool will come from New York, the Bronx, Rockland County, Orange County, Putnam County, Dutchess County, Westchester County, and Sullivan County. Now, those are actually the northernmost counties are kind of rural. It's rural, suburban, and urban. And unlike the cases brought in Manhattan, where the jury pool was just Manhattan, this is going to be a much more ideologically diverse jury pool.
Well, that's not surprising. I mean, this is the Southern District of New York has a reputation for handling these high-profile drug trafficking cases, and they're very successful. I think like 98% conviction rate successful. So it stands to reason that they are well acquainted with how to do these prosecutions and are able to get juries that are willing to convict. So that is very reassuring to hear that geographically it makes sense and it's not just very good prosecutors.
Tom, are they going to ask for bail and for bond, and will it be granted? And if so, how much will it be?
They have stated, Maduro said yesterday after entering his not guilty plea, in which he also alleged that he is a decent man. They confirmed that he will seek bail at his next court appearance. I believe that is on March 17th. Now, if the Noriega trial is any indication, I wouldn't be frankly shocked if he is granted any sort of pretrial release. Maduro, of all people, a person who had an entire state at his disposal just a few nights ago, I think he would be quite a flight risk.
You think? I mean, obviously, can you imagine what the conditions on that bond would be? What, $100 million bucks? And then you can't leave the country. He would obviously try to leave the country. I mean, hello, if you got out of that prison, you would want to get the heck out of the country. Tom, great work on due process and the Venezuelan dictator and alleged narco-terrorist Nicolas Maduro. When we come back, we've got some more interesting stories here. Tennessee Comptroller released a report on the Education Scholarship Program and some of the vendors. Very interesting. Tom will join us with those details when we get back.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
1775 Coffee is giving away free starter kits. Try the dark or medium roast coffee with longevity blend, an infused blend with anti-aging calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, which has been clinically proven to reduce biological age. When you purchase the first 2 bags, you'll receive a free 1775 starter kit, including a third 16-ounce bag of coffee, a matte black tumbler, a frother, a gold scoop, or a reusable K-cup filter. Just order now at 1775coffee.com/Godzilla and claim your free 1775 starter kit while supplies last.
What happens in Virginia doesn't stay in Virginia. It influences policy and policymakers nationwide. The VirginiaStar.com shines a light on the issues in VA that become issues for the USA, with insightful commentary that gets to the fact of the matter. The VirginiaStar.com is your source of wisdom and truth, locally, statewide, and nationally. Log on today and every day. The VirginiaStar.com. The VirginiaStar.com. The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
There's a number of Democratic members of Congress who are pushing for impeachment. They're not just going after the president, going after RFK Jr. and others.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Judge Weinberg.
Listen, it's the most important midterm in our lifetime.
Cats and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Frederick Media Network.
This is a big deal.
When you're learning something new, experience matters. At Lifestyles Unlimited, we've spent over 30 years teaching people how real estate investing works and how to build income with a clear, step-by-step strategy. Our program is designed to help you learn what to do, why it works, and how to take action at your own pace. Join today for just $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Our guest on the Zoom Newsmaker line right now, our lead political reporter at the Tennessee Star, the one, the only Tom Pappert. Tom, a great report yesterday, headlined by you, Tennessee Comptroller report points to possible shortcomings in the school choice management software. So the school choice program here in Tennessee, the educational scholarship accounts, very popular, considered very successful in terms of kind of parental involvement. 20,000 students last year, or this current year, obtained these scholarships, a little over $7,000. In addition, I think there's a movement in the General Assembly to increase that to 40,000. But context, there's 1 million K-12 kids here in Tennessee. What's the big takeaway from this report from the Tennessee Comptroller's Office?
Now, we should clarify, just in the interest of being accurate here, that this report was specifically about the ESA program, not the Education Freedom Account program. So this is the education scholarship program. It's in Davidson County, Knox County, and Shelby County. It has about 6,000 students that have signed on. It was sort of the precursor to the universal school choice program that was passed last February. Now has about 20,000.
Let me just elaborate on it. It's a good point because these education savings accounts first, so a school choice in low income areas, basically, of a couple of counties. And then this year, this is expanded statewide and to the Education Freedom Scholarship program, it's 20,000. This report was just on the precursor in those counties, correct?
Right. But it is the same software. The state of Tennessee actually modified its contract last year with the company called Student First Technologies to go ahead and have them also cover the management of all of the 20,000 students that have become part of the universal school choice program as well. And what this comptroller report found essentially is that everybody loves the program. The parents are overjoyed. The teachers and school leaders are happy that they can provide these additional educational offerings to the students, but everybody seems to be unified in their kind of annoyance or frustration, perhaps is a better word, with the online platform. That's this multi-million-dollar tool. Tennessee went with one called Student First Technologies. A bunch of other people bid. One was called Class Wallet. They had some early funding from a Chinese venture capitalist firm connected to the Chinese government. But essentially, the takeaway from this report is that parents were unable to understand what they were supposed to put into this platform. That resulted in district leaders, school leaders having to create how-to manuals so they could make sure that their children got the grant money they were supposed to get, and then that it went to the place that it was supposed to go to. And while all this is going on, they said that they were not receiving much support from Nashville, who sort of purchased the software for them to use and then left them to manage it to the best of their ability.
When you say Nashville,
now, in addition,
you mean the State Department of Education, Tennessee Department.
Correct.
So,
and additionally, now one sort of red flag that was raised is, while this is meeting all of the statutory requirements that the state of Tennessee needs to have in terms of data gathering for these students, it doesn't seem to be enough, in meaning it meets the law, but it doesn't meet the utility requirements of the teachers, the school leaders, the parents, where, for example, the withdrawal numbers are missing. So we don't know, using the system, how many students started in an ESA program and then decided, this isn't right for me, we're going back to public school, we're going to do homeschool, et cetera, et cetera. So it just seems as though there's some missing information, and for the price tag that Tennessee taxpayers pay, they should really seem to have it.
Very good point. Now, where do we stand in 2026? Because there's this group, Student First Technologies, has done the software management for the pilot program, if you will, the Education Savings Account in 3 counties. And apparently this year they've been doing it also, do I have this right, for all 20,000 statewide? Is that right?
Right. Well, right now, the state of Tennessee has, they've likely received all of the bids they're going to. Last September, they put out a request for proposals for all of these companies throughout the country to bid on Tennessee's various school choice programs. Yet again, this contract will last until 2031. We don't know who's bid yet.
So when does this contract start, I guess, with next academic year?
With the end of this year, interestingly enough, the contract is for fiscal year 2026 through fiscal year 2031, or at least that's the request for proposals. My understanding is oftentimes these contracts wind up shorter than the proposal was, but I believe we should have the names of the companies, if I understand correctly, within the next 7 days, either the 13th or the 15th.
Got it. And so somebody in the Tennessee Department of Education is reviewing all of these proposals and will tell us which one they recommend. Is that how it's going to work out?
That's correct. And then, of course, there's a negotiation process. There's a second and a third option, and eventually they'll make a decision.
Tom Pappert, great work as always. Hey, stick around, Tom, to listen, because in our next hour, another bombshell from E.J. Haast about the Minnesota fraud scandal. I don't even know what it is yet, but it's a bombshell. Back after this.
Is a record player the best way to listen to music? Of course not. So why are you still taking vitamins in pill form that haven't been upgraded since the 1930s? Even if you don't have trouble swallowing, most vitamins in pill form can't be absorbed very well. It's time to upgrade to the pill-free future of vitamins. Advanced nutrition company, Healthy Cell, created a patent-pending ingestible gel that is clinically proven to have 265% the absorption rate of tablets. These physician-formulated supplements come in a small gel pack. You tear off the top and shoot it down. You can also mix it in water. They taste great, they're convenient on the go, and they're more natural too, without chemical binders, fillers, and coatings. Go to HealthyCell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's HealthyCell.com. HealthyCell.com.
Trump 2.0 is in full effect. How do you keep up with all the action? I'll tell you. TrumpNationNews.com is your inside source for the inside scoop. Manufacturing, jobs, deportations, and the nation's rejuvenation. The first 100 days and beyond. All the news you need and no liberal gibberish. It's the perfect way to start your day. Sign up for the TNN newsletter. Do it today. TrumpNationNews.com. TrumpNationNews.com. Part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio.
WJFN W224EB 92.7 FM Chester, W299DB 107.7 Bon Air, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJFB.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Deposed Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro and his wife are back in a New York detention center following their arraignment on narco-terrorism, conspiracy, and weapons charges. Maduro pled not guilty. Many congressional Democrats condemn the capture of Maduro, while most Republicans are saying, well done. And speaking of Republicans, President Trump is now huddling with some of them.
The president will address the House GOP retreat this morning, which is being held at the Kennedy Center in Washington. Lawmakers will be discussing their legislative goals during the all-day retreat and strategizing how to keep their House majority in the midterm elections.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston says Mr. Trump paid tribute to the late California Republican Congressman Doug LaMalfa, who's died at the age of 65. On-duty police officer deaths declined last year.
The National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund says the deaths of on-duty law enforcement officers in the U.S. decreased by nearly 25% in 2025. The drop from 148 deaths to 111 in the one-year period includes decreases in officers killed by firearms, in traffic-related incidents, and in other on-duty occurrences. Officials say that while increased training, better medical resources, and public awareness campaigns account for some of the decrease, others come down to luck. And a decrease in firearm fatalities does not mean fewer people shot at police officers. I'm Haya Panjwani.
The Department of Health and Human Services is out with revised guidelines for childhood vaccinations, hepatitis, and meningitis. RSV and flu shots no longer being recommended for every child. On Wall Street, stocks in positive territory. The Dow is up about 133 points. The Nasdaq ahead 29, and the S&P better by 13. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Have you noticed losing weight is harder than it used to be? You're eating better and exercising, but the scale barely moves? The real problem isn't willpower, it's metabolic dysfunction. And standard dieting just makes it worse. PhD Weight Loss has helped thousands fix the root cause of stubborn weight. Take their free metabolic assessment at fixmyweightloss.com. Fixmyweightloss.com. It's quick, personalized, and shows why your body is resisting weight loss, so you know exactly what to fix. Visit fixmyweightloss.com. That's fixmyweightloss.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Following a nationwide crackdown on criminal gangs, El Salvador's murder rate plunged last year.
When El Salvador's homicide rate was at its peak in 2015, it was considered one of the most violent countries in the world outside of war zones. Today, El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele, said the country had gone from, as he put it, the murder capital of the world to the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. Almost 4 years ago, his administration declared a state of emergency and launched a crackdown on the powerful gangs known as maras. However, NGOs have accused the government of abusing the human rights of detainees.
The BBC's Sophie Glass-Ryan. Activists say the death toll and violence surrounding protests in Iran has risen to at least 35. The figure came from the U.S.-based human rights activists news agency. News and analysis at townhall.com. Nearly 36 residents of Michigan nursing homes have died of suspected neglect or abuse over the past 4 years.
That's according to a Bridge, Michigan review of state and federal records and court documents. Bridge's investigation documented nearly 6,000 cases of abuse, neglect, exploitation, or quality of life and care violations, among the more than 15,000 total citations for violations ranging from incomplete paperwork to poor care. In all, homes have been fined $21.5 million over the past 3 years and have been denied a total of 6,451 days of Medicaid reimbursements. Keith Peters, Washington.
Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar is reportedly considering a run for governor of Minnesota now that incumbent Democrat Tim Walz has dropped his re-election bid. Roughly a dozen Republicans are already in the race. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. In studio, the official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, the one, the only, E.J. Haas. Good morning, E.J.
Good morning.
Among your many experiences, you spent 12 years living in the state of Minnesota.
I sure did, yeah, just south of the Twin Cities.
And several years ago, you saw the light, and you moved to the greatest state in the Union, Tennessee.
That is 100% true. True story.
You have a perspective on the news that broke yesterday that Tim Walz, the two-term governor of Minnesota, who's right at the center of all of these huge alleged scandals, totaling $9 billion or more, according to some sources, he announced that he's not running for re-election. He blamed Donald Trump for it.
Of course.
And I heard also he claimed that the YouTubers had broken into some of these facilities.
Right, of course, that's silly.
True.
Not true.
A silly claim. But you had pointed out last week, and we got a lot of people who followed this, we did a clip on it, that there were 5 specific agencies in the state of Minnesota, all of whom reported to Governor Tim Walz, who, as their charge, their duty, their responsibility is to track and stop fraud.
That's
and
right.
None of them acted.
Correct. I'm taking it a step further today.
Tell us what you've discovered.
All right. So I think we're kind of barking up the wrong tree. I've said this a couple of times in the last week or so. I think what we've seen, that visual that the YouTube videos have given us, is great, and it's a jumping off point. But as I said before, Somalis didn't do this on their own. They had to have help somewhere. They just can't get a license to open a child care center. They can't maintain a license without help somewhere. And these videos have shown us that the spaces themselves are probably not meeting those licensing requirements and things like that. So I decided to take it a little further and dig into the Minnesota Department of Human Services, keeping in mind that the spinoff of that is Department of Children, Youth, and Families, but it's still very muddy. So they still have some oversight that is kind of in coordination, even though that DCYF has kind of moved away from DHS. That said, the licensing requirements and the website itself for DHS still houses all of the information that we can go and find about these daycare centers. So, and when I say this, remember, we're talking about fraud that is not just daycare centers. It's autism centers, it's adult daycare, it is food distribution centers. It spans a wide variety of industries. The daycare centers is the focus right now because it's the easiest one to really get information on. So I went to the Minnesota DHS website and did a search for currently licensed daycare facilities in the city of Minneapolis. So one city, and there's hundreds of them. And the filter was to make sure it still had a current license. So here's what I was looking for. I wanted to find out what the licensing requirements are,
Mm-hmm.
and two other things. What the licenses are, who's approving those licenses,
Mm-hmm.
and are there any violations? So if there were violations, why do they still have a license?
So just to be clear, if you want to do a daycare center
Mm-hmm.
in the state of Minnesota, you must apply to the Minnesota Department of Human Services.
Children, youth, and families also. So, like I said, it's muddy. So
Are they separate departments?
They currently they are listed as separate departments. However, their appointees they overlap, and it's only within the last year that they quote unquote separated. So they're not really separated.
So many of these licenses would have been granted before this past year.
Correct. Yes.
And then so they would have gone to the Minnesota Department of Human Services to get a license.
Correct.
So if somebody just said, "Hey, I want to start a child care center,"
Mm-hmm.
they have to fill out an application.
Correct.
And then it goes to the Minnesota Department of, it did go to the Minnesota Department of Human Services,
Correct.
and some process will follow.
Correct.
And somebody will sign off and say this is approved.
Yes. Before that approval happens, though, there's requirements in there. So, for instance, you have to have background studies on all staff, helpers, and members of the organization. You have to have training. Pre-licensing and ongoing training is required for all pediatric CPR, first aid, sudden unexpected infant death prevention, abuse, head trauma, all sorts of things. Health and safety standards are very important at these centers, and there's requirements for all of that. So it goes on and on. I mean, they have to have a certain square footage per child. They have to have a certain
Mm-hmm.
number of bathrooms available. They have to
A playground, perhaps?
exactly, outdoor space,
Mhm.
emergency exits,
Mhm.
things like that. Even just down to the smoke detectors that have to be
Sure.
in place. So it's not real easy to get a license for most people.
How long does it typically take? Do we know?
I am not sure because it seems to be, from my research, inconsistent. Seems to be very easy for some people and very difficult for others.
For which people is it easy?
Well, the ones who are politically connected, it looks like, who come from groups that are seeking some sort of equitable outcome.
So Somalians.
Yes, for the Somalis. But I really want to stress this point. If this program is working for them, and this scheme is working for them, it's working for a lot of other people too. Because the people working for DHS and the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, they're not all Somali. And I have names for you. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I think it's important to note that these requirements have to be met prior to the licensing happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to find out who is getting the licensing done, and are they meeting the standards? Are they continually meeting the standards? Okay, so I told you there's hundreds in the list.
Just in the city of Minneapolis.
Just in the city of Minneapolis. Current license holder, and I picked them literally at random, right? So you could just go into this list. It's at licensinglookup.dhs.state.mn.us. You can look them up yourself. This is all verifiable. I picked one just randomly. It's on Lake Street, Brightside Daycare. Licensing review on 7/14.
7 July of 2014?
7/14/2025.
Okay. Oh, recent.
Recent.
And okay.
This is the most recent violation. And I'm not even going to be able to name them all because there's so many. Areas used by children were not in good repair. Hazardous objects were accessible to children. Staff to child ratios were not maintained. All staff did not complete ongoing training requirements. Remember that CPR and safety I told you about. Child development and learning training did not contain all required items. Program didn't comply with first aid training. Program did not comply with CPR training requirements. That was 7/14/25. 8/15/24.
Same place?
Same place. Bunch of the same stuff. The previous year, more violations. Every year since 2022, Brightside Daycare LLC has had violations and didn't complete background checks either and got a fine for that in 2024. So if you had those kind of violations going back to October 5th, 2022, again on 1/18/23, again on 5/8/23, and into 2025, why are you still getting state funding?
And when we come back, we'll learn more about this one out of hundreds, Brightside. When did they originally get their approval? And who are the people that review this and grant the approval? Back with EJ Haast after this.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Ponder this. Most of us in America have more than we need to sustain ourselves, like a roof over our heads, food to eat, and clothes to wear, and much more. The one thing we seem to be lacking every day is more time. There is never enough time in our day, or in a night for that matter. That being said, we try to create more time each day by rushing around to perhaps buy a little more time. We rush from one event to another. We double or even triple task to save time. We drive fast cars to get to our fast food restaurants. Our days are full with little time left for family, friends, and God. To better manage your pace, take a minute each morning to get on your knees and let the Lord know that you are giving Him all your time today. Sincerely ask Him to give you clear direction on what He wants you to accomplish each day. The Lord will make sure you have plenty of time for His will to be done without rushing around. Listen to the Lord to manage your time each day. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Get in. We're stealing homes. We're not like those other home criminals that steal your stuff. We steal your hard-earned home equity. We find your property online from the public record. Got it. Create a deed transfer that makes us the homeowners. Got it. Then borrow tons of cash against your equity, and you won't know till the foreclosure notice hits months later.
Just go to HometitleLock.com/Godzilla. Protect yourself.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at GlockStore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at GlockStore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. We're talking with E.J. Haas, the official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. And so, E.J., as an example, we're looking at one particular Minnesota daycare called Bright Side Daycare, LLC.
Correct.
And when was it?
Chosen at random.
Yeah.
I literally took from a list of hundreds. I have another one I'm going to share with you also. But
when were they? When did they get started? It was
initial effective date, according to the DHS website, was March 30th, 2022.
Got it. And we've looked, and they were incorporated in 2021, but we don't know the names of the people there. This is from the Minnesota.
And to be perfectly honest, I was uninterested in the names of the people because, like I was saying, I think we're barking up the wrong tree. We can go to those places, and the YouTube videos are great. Gives us that visual, what we're looking for of, right in your face. They say they have 90 kids. There's only 5 in there. They say that, they have 20 kids and they have 3, or they have none, right? So that's good. That gives us a starting point. That's a jumping off point. But this is so much deeper than just, a few people in a community kind of opening up fraudulent businesses. This is state-run fraud schemes. These are state-run, individuals who actually work for the inspectors general, for example.
We don't know necessarily, other than the fact that this particular one, Brightside Daycare LLC, licensed in 2022.
Yes.
Every year has had numerous
Every year
violations.
has had multiple violations.
And so back to the question of what bureaucrat signed off on it. Is there, when they get a license, does the bureaucrat who approved it, does their name appear? Or is it a faceless bureaucrat?
So it's a little tough to find them. There's over 7,000 people who work for DHS and the Department of Children, Youth, and Families in Minnesota, which
7,000 people.
Wild. You can't tell me we need that many people. I mean, we've got some technology
7,000.
here, right? Yes,
Wow.
7,000.
That's a lot.
And they are supposed to be doing annual, in-person, unannounced reviews of these locations. So I guess that's why maybe you need so many people, because there are so many daycare centers. But let me tell you, when I was here last week, I talked about Jody Harpstead.
Okay, remind us who Jody Harpstead is.
She used to run the Department of Human Services from 2019 to 2024. Statewide. She came from LSS, Lutheran Social Services.
Lutheran Social Services they're involved in refugee resettlement.
Correct.
And they get a lot of money from
heavily
the federal
involved.
Yeah.
They get a lot of money. They would be what you'd call an NGO.
Yeah.
And so they do help many Somalis, Afghans, really a lot of Middle East is from what I can find, and African nations. They help them resettle here in the United States. And they tend to focus on places that get a lot of social services, Minneapolis being one of them, Minnesota in general.
So just to step back, and the broader problem with this is, if you look at immigration into the United States, 1900s, late 19th century, 1900s, people would come mostly from Eastern Europe or Ireland. And when they came here, there was no government assistance for them.
That's right.
They had to have a job.
Well, they had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Now they don't have to figure it out. They just hold their hand out, which is a problem.
If you look at how this all began, there are 2 elements of the so-called Lyndon Johnson Great Society. The first element was to provide all of these government assistance programs. But the second element was Senator Edward Kennedy opening the doors to basically anybody to come to the United States. And then this terrible combination is, under Bill Clinton, they brought in a whole bunch of third worlders here, and all of them put their hand up and said, yeah, I want to be in the United States, and I want you, American taxpayers, to pay for me. President Trump put out this list the other day, which showed what percentage of foreign-born residents of the United States were on some kind of government assistance. They were all on huge. It's like a list of 70 countries.
Right.
The Somalis were up at like 77%.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Towards the top. But still, most of these foreign-born residents, migrants,
both legal and illegal, by the way,
receive government money from you and me.
Right. And so it's food assistance programs. It is healthcare programs. It is transportation programs. Obviously, they're getting small business administration help. Like they're getting help all over the place. And we're paying for it. So just think about, how much money is taken out of your paycheck every single week, month, however you get paid, and how much of that, 30%, going to programs that are total scams.
Well,
total scams.
And this person, Jody
Harpstead, she left with her tail tucked between her legs. So remember Feeding Our Futures?
Right.
I told you about over a year ago.
That's a big scam, and a lot of indictments have come about because of that.
So, and right now...
Describe Feeding Our Futures.
Yeah, Feeding Our Futures is, it was a meal assistance program primarily implemented during the COVID years to supposedly feed kids and families when they couldn't get their, school lunch and that sort of thing. And basically the way the scam worked, it was really the ringleader of that was Amy Bach, who is... she's obviously been indicted and it's been a long trial. There's up to like 90 people now associated with this scandal. Primarily Somali-owned restaurants and food distribution centers of some kind. So whether it was their daycare center or their small restaurant or store, they would say, we're feeding 90,000 people or something. And they would get the government money for it because they were supposedly feeding people during the COVID, extra funding and all of that. But then, of course, they weren't actually feeding anybody. So it was pretty easy to figure
themselves.
out. Yeah, they were buying
Right.
luxury cars. They were taking vacations. They were sending a lot of money overseas. It's documented now that there was TSA whistleblower or 2 or 4 that shared suitcases of cash were being
shipped from Minneapolis to
flown out of the Minneapolis airport.
Where?
Yeah, Somalia, and other nations.
Yeah.
So it was very, very bad, and that's been ongoing. And Jody Harpstead was kind of there. Now this is why this becomes important, because they know the fraud was there, right? And by they, I mean not only DHS, but because now it's going through the legal system, it's the Attorney General.
So Minnesota
it's the governor,
DHS, the Attorney General, the governor, they were all aware the fraud was going on.
All of them were aware, including the inspectors general, because they were playing a role in this also. They also have something to do with the licensing, and there's like 19 of them in the office of the DHS, and so they are supposed to be overseeing the fraud, overseeing the licensing, making sure that these centers are getting they're following the rules, really, just to put it as basic as possible. And they're obviously failing miserably. So replacing Jody Harpstead was Tiki Brown, and she has been overseeing the daycare centers in Minnesota since 2024.
Okay.
So over a year, almost 2 years now, she has been responsible for that. She has already been caught in kind of this, they were open, they weren't open, that's been kind of making the rounds on social media for one of the centers.
The Quality Leering Center.
Correct.
According to her, they were closed.
Right.
But then the following day, people went there and they were, oh no, we're open.
We're open. We bust in a whole bunch of kids. We promise we're open.
And apparently there are reports that they went to Craigslist to get child actors. That's a report.
That's a report. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, I laughed at it.
It's funny.
It's what's nuts though is that it's plausible.
It is, yeah.
Right? We looked at it and said, yeah, that tracks. So just that one place, if that were the only violation I found, I would stop there and move on. But literally every second or third one had multiple violations.
So
over the
what you're
course
saying
of years.
is what you've done. You started with this one. Bright Side Daycare LLC, formed in 2022, basically approved in 2022. Every year they had numerous violations. Then you started and looked at others.
Correct.
And numerous violations.
Numerous violations. And this is the one that stood out to me as being the most egregious. Olu's Beginnings on 12th Avenue in Minneapolis.
Olu's Beginning. How do you spell that?
OLU_S Beginnings. They've been in business since 2015. When we come back, I'm going to tell you what their violations are, and it's going to make you want to throw up.
Olu's Beginnings. Mm-hmm. It sounds like it might be the beginning of the end there. Back with E.J. Haast after this.
Let's be real. Losing weight isn't just about looking good. It's about taking back control of your overall health. 42% of adults in America are classified as obese, and obesity is directly linked to severe health issues. If you've tried diets and different workouts with no success, it's not your fault. Big Food and Big Pharma have rigged the system against you with contradicting information, leaving you confused. But there's good news. The Wellness Company just launched Drop, a GLP-1 peptide oral drop formula developed by their chief medical board, specifically designed to support your metabolism, curb cravings, and help you shed weight. That's right. No injections, no risk of the severe side effects we're seeing with the Ozempic. Start your weight loss journey today and get $100 off, plus free shipping. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and use promo code Godzilla100. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla100. Take action today for a healthier tomorrow.
Attorney General Miyares and John Fredericks talk about skill games.
They're unregulated slot machines.
They pop up in 7-Elevens in every corner of Virginia.
The General Assembly has spoken on this.
Skill games.
These things are illegal.
It's the Wild Wild West. Fights break out. Robberies increase.
Skill games.
They prey on the less fortunate.
I say it's a tax on the poor.
They're breaking the law.
My job is to enforce the law. These machines are not allowed.
Enforce the law and get them out of there.
When you see skill games, call the local sheriff.
These things are illegal.
Paid for by Churchill Downs.
Each of us is born with 30 trillion cells that make us. These cells determine how we feel, perform, sleep, focus, and how long we live. And to live our best life, all we have to do is feed our cells properly. But most supplements don't reach our cells, keeping us from reaching our full potential. Make every cell count with Healthy Cell. Founded with a mission to empower people to take control of their own health at the most fundamental level, the cell. Dr. Vincent Gempapa, world-renowned cell researcher and medical doctor, created supplements that work at the cellular level to support immune health, better sleep, sharper focus, and healthy aging. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's healthycell.com, HEALTHYCELL, and use code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
My fellow Americans, I was this close, very close, to buying from the lumber yards. These are sick people. But I turned my head at the last second, and I saw a big, beautiful ad for D.T. McCall's. These are highly respected people. If I had not turned my head at the last second, I would have been ripped off at some lumber yard for $200 in hidden charges, and D.T. McCall & Sons are never going to do that. They'd never do that to you. These are great people. I've known them for a long time. They have great deals, and I just have to say, nobody knows deals like I do. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned. in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. These are tremendous people. D.T. McCall & Sons. Check out one of their stores today.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Hi, everyone. EJ Host here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and frequent guest on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, here to tell you about GetFoundEverywhere.com. Customers are searching for your business everywhere. Google, Apple Maps, TikTok, and new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is a total disruptor. Traditional search engine optimization isn't dead, but it is on life support. Old tactics don't work anymore. So how can you make your business stand out? GetFoundEverywhere.com makes your business pop on over 50 search, map, review, and AI-driven platforms. With one easy dashboard, manage business profiles, social media accounts, direct messages, even texts and reviews. GetFoundEverywhere.com is affordable, boosts your visibility, and gets your business more customers. It's time to step up your game the easy way. Save time, save money, and get more customers with GetFoundEverywhere.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, former 12-year resident of Minnesota, or as we call it here, Minnesota Stan.
Minnesota Stan.
EJ Host, and now a resident of the state of Tennessee, and we're so glad she's here. She's so glad she's here.
I'm so glad. My whole family is glad to be here. Yeah. Yeah. Funny story. We were living in a whole bunch of different states, like kids going to college and things like that. And we all ended up loving Tennessee, and now all of us live here.
Everybody
so
loves
it's great.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Of course.
Not all together. We don't.
No, I understand.
Different cities, different places. But yeah, we love Tennessee.
Now, you were talking about another business operation, which actually has, what's the right word here? We actually have some details about a well-known business person in the Minneapolis area, been celebrated.
Yes.
For a number of things. Her name is Gloria Freeman, and she's set up, I don't know, just a conglomeration of various business entities called Olu's Home.
Yes.
Olu, by the way, that word is a Yoruba West African word, Olu.
Holistic.
Which means,
they mention holistic as being their practice.
Yeah, and it various definitions of Olu say it's a Yoruba word for God or godliness. But she has, well, let's go even back here to 2000. I'll introduce Gloria Freeman to everybody. 2016, April of 2016, during the Obama administration, WCCO, the CBS affiliate, described her as a Minnesotan to meet. Gloria Freeman of Olu's Home. 17 years ago, a Minneapolis resident founded a place called Olu's Home. The organization provides housing and in-home care for the elderly and those with developmental disabilities and mental illnesses. Olu's Home now has 11 locations throughout the Twin Cities. She was named the Minnesota Small Business Person of the Year by the U.S. Small Business Administration. It's what she's doing here, and for children, it's for the children in the neighborhood of North Minneapolis, that makes her a Minnesotan to meet. That was 2016.
Yeah, 2016. Well, by 2022, and this is, again, I found this randomly searching the DHS website in Minnesota for daycare centers, currently licensed daycare centers, because what I'm looking for is what that licensing looks like. We can get on the case of, they said 90 kids and there's only 20, and the money and all of that kind of stuff. That is important. But in the end, we're talking about children and the safety of children.
And they're all supposed to be licensed by the Minnesota Department of Human Services.
Right. And now the Children, Youth, and Families Department. So to me, it's more important that we look at this licensing, because that's going to open the door to everything else. It's going to lead us to those people who are working at these departments, working for the government, who are letting violations slip so that they can still get that state funding. So they're letting violations go so that they can, their friends, or maybe kickbacks. Allegedly, this is something that is being investigated by like Alpha News and whatnot.
Well, and 2,000 U.S. agents now are descending upon Minneapolis.
Yes. But again, I hope they don't just go to the daycare centers. I hope they go and raid the offices of the AG, DHS, this Department of Children, Youth, and Families, because those are the people who are allowing this fraud to happen. And without them, if they weren't not doing their job, we wouldn't have this fraud to begin with, because it's their job to stamp denied when violations happen.
But somehow they don't think that's their job.
No. But listen to this one. So this OLU's, right, run by Gloria Freeman, who is, accolades all over Minnesota as being so terrific. Her program space was not clean. The children did not have access to personal hygiene
what year was
products.
This? Now, what's the entity?
Yep, this is the OLU's.
OLU's Beginnings? What's the name of it?
OLU's Daycare. Olu's Beginnings Daycare Center.
Olu's Beginnings Daycare Center, which has been in business since when? 2016?
15. Okay. 2015. And in 2022, now we can't see violations between 2015 and 2022. They only keep them for 4 years visible on the website.
Got it.
So we can only go back to 2022. Hazardous objects were accessible to children. Child's prescribed diet was not followed. Child files did not contain immunization records. Children were subjected to prohibited disciplinary actions. You're telling me it's a dirty, unsafe place where the staff did not supervise the children at all times.
What were the prohibited disciplinary actions?
They don't go into detail on that. But, don't worry about it, because correction documentation was submitted and approved. That was 2022. That exact same violation happened again, year after year, and twice in just the last 2 years. So to say that this woman running the organization deserves any kind of public funding is awful. Also, consider, why do they still have a license? They are repeatedly unclean, unsafe, staff isn't trained. So why do they maintain a license? We're only going back 4 years. What happened in 2016, 18, 19? We don't know. So, this is the kind of information that is supposed to be looked at by these inspectors general, the Office of Inspector General within the Department of Human Services. And those 19 people, and you can find them, some of them have LinkedIn profiles. Very proud of the work they do for DHS. And Tiki Brown, who is running DHS right now.
Department.
Yes.
Yeah, DHS.
Where are you, Tiki? Why are you not stopping the licensing, denying the licensing, and shutting down dangerous places for children?
Okay, so the theme here is, with just a couple of random searches for the records of licensed daycares, you found all sorts of violations. And
virtually every single one.
Yeah, and then it looks like the only corrective action is to send them a letter. Yeah, we corrected all that. And then they repeat, apparently.
Repeat, year after year, inspection after inspection.
So this raises huge questions of credibility. You were able to discover this just searching the website, and yet there are 7,000 employees of the Minnesota Department of Human Services who apparently have allowed this to continue, apparently.
Yes.
And it doesn't look like they define their jobs as identifying fraud problem and putting companies out of business that are violating these rules and regulations.
Right, that's right. Exactly right. So then it goes all the way up to A.G. Ellison. So Keith Ellison, who, by the way, used to represent in the U.S. Congress, the district where a lot of right in downtown Minneapolis, where a lot of these daycare centers are located.
Yeah.
He was counting on a lot of those votes. So the next step, of course, is what do they do with their money once they get it?
So we'll get to that in a bit. We've got a Keith Ellison clip that we're going to play right now. This is Dana Perino this morning on Fox talking about Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota, a Democrat. Here we go.
I think he's got a real problem because he might have been the first shoe to fall, but there's more coming. Because Keith Ellison, who is the Attorney General of Minnesota, former congressman who is a member of Democratic leadership, he is on audio, leaked audio, talking to these people, telling them that he will cover up the investigations, telling that they'll tell the investigators to back off. So this resignation or decision not to run, not a resignation, but the decision not to run is not the end of the story. The fraud story doesn't end there. To me, it's really just beginning. And thankfully, there's a very good prosecutor in the state that is relentless. So hopefully they'll get it cleaned up.
Okay, so when you say prosecutor, she's talking about the U.S. attorney.
Yes.
Who's been with the Department of Justice for a long time. Apparently not tainted by the Biden Department of Justice, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why we had, Feeding Our Futures, that's not new. That story isn't new. But it's
been up there for several years.
Yes. And prosecutions have already happened. Criminal investigations have been going, on for quite some time. I have mentioned many times over about the jury tainting and trying to buy off someone from the jury pool.
Well, but not only that, it goes beyond that. A judge, a state judge, the trial court judge, where someone was convicted of, $7 million of fraud?
Mm-hmm.
A Somali, I think, was convicted of $7 million of fraud, convicted by a jury.
$7.2 million, yes.
The judge basically threw out the jury verdict.
There's 3 judges who have done very similar things in the state of Minnesota. So we've got a judge problem. So we've got the Attorney General's office.
Judges, yeah.
Yes. We've got the Attorney General clearly knew what was happening and seemingly in a video is saying, I got your back. We've got the former Jody Harpstead. Where is she now? Who used to run DHS and left in shame because of the Feeding Our Futures and other fraud schemes coming to light. We've got the current 7,000 employees who work for DHS. Somebody's got to be on the take. Like, where does this end? You don't just sign off on this stuff. Or
they are somehow ideologically committed to something other than the rule of law.
Could be.
All right. What's next? We'll talk about that in our next segment with E.J. Haast. Back after this, I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
Ponder this. Most of us are familiar with social media influencers. People that claim expertise on some probably irrelevant topic. Many hours are wasted following people online who do not add an ounce of value to our lives. There is only one influencer who matters, and you should be following him and his messages every day. He holds the keys to our peace. He shows us how to live lives of meaning. He is there to help us carry our daily crosses. He is Jesus Christ, and he is the influencer extraordinaire. Are you one of his followers? Are you wasting time with useless information that will not bring peace and love to your life? Ask the Lord each day to provide you with spiritual influence that will change your life forever. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Get in. We're stealing homes. We're not like those other home criminals that steal your stuff. We steal your hard-earned home equity. We find your property online from the public record. Got it. Create a deed transfer that makes us the homeowners. Got it. Then borrow tons of cash against your equity, and you won't know till the foreclosure notice hits months later.
Just go to HometitleLock.com/Godzilla. Protect yourself.
If you've tried everything for cheek redness or breakouts and nothing works, it's not your fault. The real cause might be deeper than you think. Introducing Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream from the Wellness Company, a prescription-strength, dermatologist-developed formula that helps reduce inflammation, balance bacteria, and restore your skin's natural glow. This triple-action cream combines 3 medical-grade ingredients for powerful results. Azelaic acid to unclog pores and fade dark spots, metronidazole to control bacterial imbalance and redness, and ivermectin to calm irritation and eliminate skin parasites that contribute to rosacea and acne. Together, these ingredients work to reduce bumps, swelling, and redness while supporting smoother, healthier, and more radiant skin over time. Formulated and compounded in the United States, this FDA-approved cream is trusted by doctors for visible and lasting results. Experience clear, confident skin with the Wellness Company's Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream. U.S. residents only. Head to twc.health/Godzilla and use code Godzilla to save $20 off, plus free shipping.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
There's a number of Democratic members of Congress who are pushing for impeachment, not just going after the president, going after RFK Jr. and others.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Judge Weinberg.
Listen, it's the most important midterm in our lifetime.
Cats and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Frederick Media Network.
This is a big deal.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pouty. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pouty.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pouty, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. Some of you may be wondering, why are we spending a full hour talking about fraud in Minnesota? I have an answer for you. Because it is the tip of the iceberg. Not just Minnesota, California, New York, Massachusetts. It is a gigantic fraud scam run by the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
In essence.
Yeah. And keep in mind that it's our money. No matter where you live in the United States, you've contributed to these programs because they are federally appropriated to the states, and then the states disperse that money. So
Bingo.
It's all our money. So, you know, we mentioned A.G. Ellison. We mentioned, of course, Tim Walz is stepping down. I talked to you about Tiki Brown. Jay Swanson is a name.
Let's just say it. Tiki Brown is the current head
Commissioner
of the Minnesota Department of Human Services.
Of Children, Youth, and Families.
Sorry, of Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Jay Swanson, former manager of recipient and child care provider investigations in the DHS Office of Inspector General. He's responsible for Financial Fraud and Abuse Investigative Division.
How long has he been doing this?
Around 2018, he had communicated some internal estimates of fraud risks and whatnot, and clearly that was ignored. He obviously didn't push very hard, and he definitely didn't go to the media and make a big deal out of it.
Is he still the Inspector General?
To my understanding, yes, he is still the Office of the Inspector General.
At the federal level, Inspector Generals are well known for putting together lengthy reports of problems. And most often, those reports just land with a thud.
Yeah. So we need whistleblowers, right? We need more in every. I mean, Ohio, Michigan, Massachusetts. Oh my goodness, we think Minneapolis is bad. Boston was twice as many centers and facilities that are under investigation or by journalists. So when I say under investigation, I mean not officially. I mean by journalists.
But doesn't it look like to you? Because it looks like to me that all of these programs are likely scams, and they are designed to benefit certain protected groups.
Yep.
Who are affiliated with the Democrat Party.
Yep.
And they're taking the money from the rest of us.
That's right. For their own personal ends, probably, allegedly. I mean, I would say certainly the guy running for Congress in Minnesota who owns a daycare that has over 100 violations.
No.
Yes.
Well, who's that guy?
Abdi Desane, Somali daycare owner running for Minnesota Congress as a Democrat. He owns Blooming Kids Child Care Center.
Is he running for Congress? Or
Congress.
U.S. Congress?
Mm-hmm.
In which district? Is he running against Ilhan Omar? Or?
Oh, gosh, I doubt that very much. Let me see if I can find that somewhere. But ultimately,
I'm guessing he's not a Republican.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a wild shot in the dark.
Yeah. In 3 years, racked up almost 100 violations, including one because he only had one chair, and they were slotted for 150 children at this particular facility.
Yeah, the guy's name.
Millions.
Yeah, he's a Democrat. Mm-hmm. He's a candidate for the Minnesota House of Representatives, not the U.S. House of, according to his website. He's 38 years old. He's Somali. Abdi Dasane. That's the guy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he owns. I mean, this is just.
Yeah. Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, he's from St. Cloud.
Oh yeah, so they've moved quite a few people to St. Cloud.
Well, I reported on numerous instances. St. Cloud is what, a city of what, 15,000, 20,000?
Growing though,
but, well, they've shipped all of these Somalis in. It's been a huge problem there since 2010, 2011. Mm-hmm. And, the people that are natives to St. Cloud are thinking, what the heck's happened to my community?
Yeah,
in
for
fact,
sure.
Famously, in 2015, Tom Emmer went to a town hall meeting.
Correct.
In St. Cloud, and somebody said, why are you shipping in and paying for all of these Somalis? They're not assimilating. They're not adding anything to our community.
Tom Emmer, third in command of the Republicans in the House, basically told his constituents who were questioning the number of people coming into the community there from Somalia, sit down and shut up. That was the gist of it. He brought in this liberal reporter who wrote glowing things about him, and then he and Keith Ellison worked together to start the Somali caucus.
And he's the guy, you see him on Fox News all the time.
He's everywhere.
And he's saying, this is terrible, this has got to stop. But he was there at the beginning and did nothing to stop it. In fact, encouraged it.
Right. Encouraged it, brought it in, thought it was, told everybody it was going to be great for the community, even though his constituents told him we don't want that.
And I did any number of stories at Breitbart, 2013, 2014, about alleged Somali criminals who were from St. Cloud.
Hey, I have another Somali criminal to tell you about.
No.
I do. It is now confirmed Somalia's UN ambassador was involved in healthcare company convicted of Medicaid fraud. I'm not even kidding. The guy's name, are you ready?
Yeah.
Abukar Dahir Osman, Somalia's ambassador to the United Nations. And yes, he is also confirmed now involved with the healthcare company.
The fraud in Minnesota keeps rolling on. The tip of the iceberg. And thank you so much, E.J. Haas,
yes, sir,
for telling us all of these details. Up next, we'll have Clint Brewer, if all goes well. We'll talk about the belligerence of the left and is that the right way to go? It's the way they're going. Back after this.
The Katz and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
There's a number of Democratic members of Congress who are pushing for impeachment, not just going after the president, going after RFK Jr. and others.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Judge Weinberg.
Listen, it's the most important midterm in our lifetime.
Katz and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Frederick Media Network.
This is a big deal.
What if you
choices, one property at a time. Right now, join us for just $297. That's a savings of $443 off our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jerry from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from Gloucester, Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF.
This is WJFN, Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, and WJFV, Portsmouth.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump just concluded his remarks to Republican House lawmakers at their luncheon today, expressing gratitude for the legislative accomplishments they pulled off in 2025.
Every one of you got to be proud of yourselves. And basically the entire House Republican Conference. It's been really amazing what you've done.
And lawmakers gathering to discuss their legislative goals during the all-day retreat and strategizing how to keep their House majority in the midterm elections. GOP officials, meanwhile, have confirmed the death of a Republican congressman from California.
Doug LaMalfa, a 7-term U.S. representative from California, has died at age 65. He represented the rural northern 1st District along the Oregon border. Speaking to House Republicans, President Trump paid tribute to LaMalfa, calling him a great, great member.
He was the leader of the Western Caucus, a fierce champion on California water issues. He was great on water.
LaMalfa's death reduces the Republicans' already narrow control of the House to 218 seats to the Democrats' 213. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The U.S. has taken the unprecedented
national sanctions. I'm Rich Thomason.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. NASCAR Commissioner Steve Phelps has announced his resignation after more than 20 years with the organization. His departure follows a federal trial where inflammatory texts he sent during revenue-sharing talks were revealed. A former Super Bowl champion joins a list of coaches fired on the NFL's Black Monday yesterday.
The Las Vegas Raiders have fired coach Pete Carroll after just 1 year. Carroll had high hopes, but the Raiders finished 3-14, including a 10-game losing streak. Owner Mark Davis and minority owner Tom Brady will work with general manager John Spytek to find a new coach. Elsewhere, the 5-12 Browns fired two-time AP NFL Coach of the Year Kevin Stefanski after 6 seasons. The 3-14 Cardinals fired coach Jonathan Gannon following a dismal third season. On Sunday, the 8-9 Falcons moved on from coach Raheem Morris after 2 seasons. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
You'll find more on these stories at townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We welcome to our microphones our fully recovered journalist. Fully recovered.
It's been a while. I'm pretty recovered.
You're not even in remission.
No, I'm good.
You are fully recovered journalist.
I'm all full on to public affairs.
Public affairs specialist, the one, the only Clint Brewer. Good morning, Clint.
Good morning, Mike.
How is 2026 treating you?
It's been great. I feel like I've been shot out of a cannon. I mean, it's
good.
It's just moving. Yeah, you know all those people who started blowing off their responsibilities like the week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
they all want things now.
I got stuff to do. I got family stuff.
Let's circle back after the turn of the year, after the holidays.
They're all circling back.
They're all circling back with a lot of things they need,
That's
which is
good.
fine, which is great.
We're happy to do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know if you call it circling back, but they are. It's almost like they're circling in a firing squad. The Democrats are going to full-on belligerent in
on
everything.
Which topic?
Every topic. They've decided that the way to beat Donald Trump is to be angry and convicted, and to say, you're not going to stop me. I'm going to come after you at all times.
Yeah.
We have so many that we want to talk about. One, we'll get to this a little bit later. Did you see this? Do you know who George Conway is, the ex-husband of Kellyanne Conway?
Yeah, sure.
He's running for Congress now. Did you know that?
Okay.
And now apparently, I guess he's divorced Kellyanne, but apparently he's moved back to New York City from Washington, D.C.
Okay.
He's running in that 12th district in Manhattan, where John F. Kennedy's grandson is running, this crazy Schlossberg guy.
Right.
I mean, that guy's crazy, really crazy. But Conway now is coming out, and you know what his platform is? Let's impeach Donald Trump.
My goodness. Yeah, I mean, I think their window for beating him is over. I mean, it's, the midterms are the last battle, right? I mean, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. If they're going to lay a glove on him, this is it.
And if there's a new report today, a couple things have happened. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, no longer a member of Congress.
Right.
So sad. So sad.
I don't pretend to understand what's going on there. I don't.
Well, she was paddleboarding yesterday in Costa Rica. That was her new deal.
Yeah,
She's preparing for a career as a CNN talking head. Apparently.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Something like that. But also, a 65-year-old member of Congress just passed away from a Republican district. I think it's Mamalfa or something like that.
Well, that's too bad.
And so now there's 2 open seats, so their margin is even lower.
Yeah.
And look, it is. You're quite right. For the Trump administration to really fully implement the MAGA agenda, they've got to maintain control of both the House and the Senate.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And the House,
it very rarely happens.
Yeah.
The only midterm of any note where this has happened was George W. Bush's after his reelect.
Mm-hmm.
He won the midterms, or the Republican Party won the midterms then, which almost never happens.
2006, yeah.
Yeah, Bill Frist was Senate Majority Leader, was sort of the architect of that win on the Senate side, where the battle really was.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's a tall task. It'd be an unusual quirk of history if they prevail, but I mean, that's where the action is right now.
Yeah. Okay, so Democrats just across the board have decided to be angry and belligerent in light of, the common sense would say, don't do that. One example is...
well, they can't raise any money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. The DNC, I don't know if you've seen the coverage. They're woefully behind their fundraising, even in the hole left over from the presidential campaign of Kamala Harris. And so, I think they're trying to find what sells. And I think in all aspects of our society right now, outrage sells. So I think they're just, I think this is what they have. I think they're trying to. It's
outrage.
They're just trying to,
right.
They're trying to juice it. They're trying to see if they can get people excited over something. They're just sort of throwing bombs and lines out in the water and see what's coming back.
It's outrage that they're selling.
Yeah.
It's outrage.
It's what they've got right now. It's what they've got.
Well, the lead outrage guy right now is Mark Kelly, senator from Arizona. Got to be the most arrogant member of Congress, which is quite a standard to hit.
That's a high bar, Mike.
That's a very high bar.
Yeah.
But, he was part of the seditious video that said, don't obey unlawful orders of the commander-in-chief. Very seditious. And,
unprompted.
Yeah. Well, it's because they're going outrage.
It's I actually had ranted to my business partner about this a couple days ago over the Venezuela situation. And it's we've never had more information at our fingertips because of the internet, social media, our phones, and people have never been dumber.
Yeah.
And there, I don't know. I'm still searching for the right words, but it's not a double standard. I think that's too mild. It's this brand of intellectual dishonesty.
Yeah.
To act like what happened in Venezuela was unprecedented. Have you noticed that everything's unprecedented?
Except Manuel Noriega.
Except Manuel Noriega.
1989, 91.
We have gone to war in Central and South America over the drug trade before. And
we actually haven't gotten to war. We've executed a law enforcement action.
Right. But you understand what I'm saying. We have used military force.
There you go.
And it's so devoid of any context or understanding of history, or they're just ignoring history.
Well,
immigration. There's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked on this show many times. President Trump is not doing anything demonstrably different than what President Obama did, or certainly not what President Clinton did in terms of deportations, closing the border. When he told Joe Biden in that debate, "Those are your cages, Joe," he was right. and so, I mean, I don't, all this outrage, I mean, a lot of it is over stuff that has happened before and will happen again. And it's not unprecedented, and it's not a threat to democracy. And
it's not.
Using the War Powers Act is not, Hakeem Jeffries out there, this didn't have congressional oversight. Well, neither did the Obama drone program against civilians in the Middle East.
Yeah.
He
was cheering that.
Oh yeah, that was protecting our national interests. So it's just a bunch of hooey, is what it is.
Is that the technical term for all this?
It's my term, yeah. I mean,
it's a bunch of hooey.
This is a family radio show, so I'm not using the term I want to use. But it's what's a better one? Malarkey, perhaps? I don't know.
That's been taken.
Is that taken?
That's been taken.
All
yeah,
right.
But
sorry, I knew I was going to get on this rant. I'm taking up a lot of airtime.
No,
but it's just all the outrage is so manufactured. It just ignores the fact that there are decades of precedents for all these things, and for example, I read a piece this morning, and it was they called it the F around and find out presidency, and that was our foreign policy now, and I was like. Also known as peace through strength, not a new concept.
The Monroe Doctrine.
I mean,
walk softly, talk softly, and carry a big stick. Teddy
also
Roosevelt.
Not a new thing.
Yeah.
And I just, it's farcical the way that these policy decisions and actions are being portrayed, and a lot of the press has just gone right along with it.
Yeah, I do think it gets back to the fact that we have now created generations of people who can't think.
Yeah. Lacking critical thinking skills.
Just lack it. Yeah.
They act like the world didn't exist before COVID, or the world didn't
Yeah.
exist before iPhones or social media. And I'm like, there's an entire history of this country that's context for these decisions.
Well, we'll get back to, when we come back, we'll play these clips of Mark Kelly, who had that seditious tape, basically the video with other members of Congress saying, yeah, if you're a member of the armed forces, you don't have to follow an unlawful order, and you got to question every order. Kind of ridiculous, right?
Yeah, that's amazing.
But he's doubling down, tripling down. He thinks that's going to work. We'll play his interview with Jon Stewart and then get your reaction to that. And Neil McCabe and Stephen Bannon will weigh in. Back after this.
Hi folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just 1 scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, Tireget.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Clint Brewer here. You know, Clint, someday we'll have our off-air comments.
I don't know, man.
I don't know if the world could handle it.
I'm not sure. I don't know if that's a good idea for either one of us.
So let's take a look at this belligerent attitude of Democrats.
Yeah.
And most Democrats are taking a belligerent attitude to everything. And I don't think it's working. But as an example, so Mark Kelly, who thinks he's God's gift to the world, senator from Arizona, astronaut, was on Jon Stewart the other night. And John was pressing him
Mm-hmm.
on why did you do this seditious video? He didn't say it that way, but
right. He
that's
said, "But what was the point of the video?"
What was the point of it?
Right.
So let's play this right now and get your reaction to it.
Okay.
It's not complicated. If a reasonable person would think that this thing that they are asking me to do is illegal, you have an obligation. It's not an option. You have an obligation not to follow those orders.
So are the boat strikes illegal?
Well, so I've been asking this question for a long time. I'm on the Armed Services and the Intelligence Committee.
Right.
They have some complicated legal rationale, 40 pages of why these are legal. It's questionable at best. And by the way,
that's my...
At first it was fentanyl, then it was cocaine, then it was about regime change, then it was about oil.
I understand.
So,
but what do you see my point? You yourself
I totally
are saying
see your
like,
point.
I don't.
But
I don't know.
Our point is to members of the military who don't get reminded of this often. When something is clearly unlawful, you have an obligation not to follow those orders. It's a pretty simple thing, and we've seen in our history multiple times when even under those circumstances, members of the military have done stuff that was clearly over the line. We did not want that to happen.
Under the Obama administration, they did extrajudicial killings of an American citizen through drone strikes. Like, we criticize that. That's my point is there's enough gray area in some of these actions.
Okay, so he's doubling down on this.
Jon Stewart, the most intelligent person in that interview, clearly.
By far.
Yeah, I mean, I think he makes good points, Jon Stewart, not Mark Kelly. I mean, again, what is the jumping off point for this video that Mark Kelly and the others launched?
Like, it came from nowhere.
Just what is so what he's saying is they're not reminded enough that if they're asked to do something illegal. So the suggestion there,
they're being asked something to do something illegal.
They're being asked to do something
what is
illegal.
that?
And what is that? So Jon Stewart asked him very directly, are these boat strikes illegal? He said, they're questionable at best. Wouldn't say they're illegal.
No.
So he doesn't have that jumping off point. Jon Stewart brings up what I brought up earlier on this show, which is the Obama,
Mm-hmm.
and again, the idiocy of this period in time in our country's history. You can't bring up history without somebody going, you're just doing whataboutisms. No, it's not a whataboutism. It's a historical fact. So Jon Stewart, whose politics are pretty far from mine, brings up the exact same thing I brought up in the last segment,
Mm-hmm.
and Mark Kelly doesn't answer to that. Doesn't say they were or were not illegal. So again, it's just it's political showboating. It's trying to bait the other side.
Our friend Neil McCabe, who was with the Tennessee Star for a long time, and then had been in the military until he just recently retired, a Bronze Star winner, first sergeant in his retirement, worked in the Department of Justice most recently, now is working at Real America's Voice and working with Stephen K. Bannon. He gave some reality to how troops handle orders in battle. Let's play this clip right now. Neil McCabe.
Oh, yeah, we used to say that stock is such a goat it eats cans. First of all, you were a deck watch officer, so you know, even if there wasn't a shot fired, when you have that many ships at sea, things happen. And if I'm a nozzleman going in to fight a fire in a compartment, I can't be wondering, is this operation even legal or constitutional? When I deployed, they told to Iraq, they said, hey, the soldier who thinks is dead, you cannot be contemplating the whither and that. You have to act as you are trained and as you are ordered. And so these guys are absolutely playing a dangerous, dangerous game. So it sent a crazy message. Frankly, if these guys didn't do that video, I'm sure Maduro might have come to the table and some of our other enemies may have come to the table. It's really bonkers that they would play this kind of game.
That's an interesting point.
Right.
Because think of how foreign countries and foreign leaders who are adversaries respond to that kind of seditious video.
A clutch of members of Congress going on the air and saying, don't follow those orders if you think they're illegal. Well, first of all, most servicemen are not educated in the legalities of war. They're trained on how to fight it.
Yeah.
And they're not told, well, you need to parse these orders from your commander, and, if they say this, then do this. If they say this, then do this. And if it's in the middle, maybe you should call your attorney. And that's not how it works.
I mean, you're out there.
Yeah.
And your life is at stake.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I don't want a Democrat to get elected president of the United States after President Trump leaves office. But if one should, I wouldn't be any happier with members of the Republican Party doing this to a future Democratic administration. I mean, you just cannot create this level of vagueness in warfare. And you can't, as an elected official, go out and suggest that something is being done illegally and suggest that maybe service members should counteract their commanding officers' commands with no proof, with no supporting evidence, with no jumping off point. In fact, I mean, it's just sort of wholesale irresponsible.
Yeah, well, doesn't that just describe pretty much everybody in the Democrat Party today?
Well, they're putting they're putting their frustration with their inability to find political traction ahead of being responsible members of the legislative body. And they're
all doing that, almost, with the exception of...
There are a few that are not, but I mean...
John Fetterman.
There are some members of the Senate showing a decent amount of restraint. I mean, they're not out there doing this stuff. And you know, there are some adults left on both sides of the aisle. And, but yeah, I mean, and Mark Kelly going on that show, you know, dressed up like a Hollywood producer. I mean, I don't...
Hold it. That's interesting. Dressed a
little flashy for a member of Congress. I'm sorry, I'm used to members of Congress.
When you say flashy, his attire?
Yeah. I mean, the shirt's all open, and you know,
yeah.
I mean, is he going to the club? I don't understand.
No, I think you've actually nailed it.
Yeah.
What he's going after is what's the right word? It's the superhero of virtue.
I guess.
You know, the Hollywood
I know
superhero
ties
virtue.
are passe now, but I'm still like your member of Congress on national television. You've suggested that maybe service members shouldn't follow the orders of their commanding officers. I mean, come with a little more than that. Back it up with something other than, I'm on the Armed Services Committee, I'm on the Intelligence Committee, and they came with a 40-page document, and it's suspicious at best or suspect at best. I'm like, that's it? You went on national television and told people not to follow orders based off of what? You think it's a little suspect? I mean... You know, these two parties have been arguing over the War Powers Act since Vietnam, since Korea, really. And, you know, it's just disingenuous. It's intellectually dishonest.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the War Powers Act, you know, the Constitution says Congress is the only entity that can declare war. And historically, that what happens is the president goes to Congress and asks them to declare war, with the exception that, you know, the last time the United States declared war?
World War II.
World War II. Huh.
We've done a lot of fighting since World War II.
Now, the War Powers Act came about in the late 1970s. But all the War Power Act says is, look, if you're going to use military action, right, to defend the United States of America, you're going to have to notify Congress within 48 hours.
And they were perfectly comfortable under 8 years of Obama and 4 years of Biden being at war in the Middle East.
Yeah, the misperception here is that an action like this, which they've described as a law enforcement action, I mean, they used the military, but it was a law enforcement action, not a regime change, looks like, entirely authorized. And there's no need for congressional approval of that sort of action. Right. And yet, if you go and listen to the talking heads, the Democrats, this was illegal. This was no legal authority would agree with that.
And let's move this into the realm of pop culture and activism. So like 78, 79 days ago were the No Kings rallies, right?
Yeah.
But now we are upset on the left side of the aisle because we plucked a dictator out of his country and are going to charge him with narco-terrorism.
A dictator already indicted in 2020.
Yeah. I mean, that indictment goes pretty far back. So I'm like, again, the sort of intellectual dishonesty. We're against kings, but we're for dictators?
Apparently, that's the new Democrat motto.
I mean, it's just is.
Oh, but they're also in favor of fraud for certain groups.
Yeah. Yeah, it's racism to say that certain groups are committing fraud.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right. I mean, the bottom line on all of this is the following: will the Republicans win the midterms?
Right.
Because if they don't, from January 27 to January 29, you're going to have to see an awful lot of executive orders.
Well, here's the thing.
And not very much.
None of this is going to matter about winning the midterms. Nobody's going to vote about if you're voting in favor of or against a Republican based on Maduro, you already had your mind made up.
Yeah, good point.
It's going to be about affordability, and it's going to be about the economy.
Pricing, as President Trump says.
Yes.
Back with Good Brewer after this. We got some Tennessee news to talk about.
Okay.
Back after this.
EJ Haast here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and frequent guest on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, here to tell you about GetFoundEverywhere.com. Customers are searching for your business everywhere: Google, Apple Maps, TikTok, and new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is a total disruptor. Traditional search engine optimization isn't dead, but it is on life support. Old tactics don't work anymore. So how can you make your business stand out? GetFoundEverywhere.com makes your business pop on over 50 search, map, review, and AI-driven platforms. With one easy dashboard, manage business profiles, social media accounts, direct messages, even texts and reviews. GetFoundEverywhere.com is affordable, boosts your visibility, and gets your business more customers. It's time to step up your game the easy way. Save time, save money, and get more customers with GetFoundEverywhere.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at D.T. McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it, believe me.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, fully recovered journalist, public affairs specialist, Clint Brewer. Clint, we've got a couple Tennessee stories to talk about here. One, the Nashville Banner broke this story. The Nashville Banner, I'll describe it as a center-left nonprofit that reports on local news.
That's probably fair from a political stance.
Yeah. Steve Cavendish was with the Nashville Scene, right, which is a
He's
far...
also with the Chicago Tribune and the Washington Post.
Currently? He's still with...
Before he came back to Nashville.
Yeah. So
he also edited a paper that I used to edit called the City Paper, which is not around anymore.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. That was a pretty good
He's
operation.
a very qualified guy.
But the group is center-left at best. But they did break a story. Now, the interesting part...
Reporting on other media.
Yeah. Which is in their caveat, they said this other media outlet is a...
They disclosed
that they have a news content sharing relationship with News Channel 5, a Scripps media company.
And it's also worth pointing out that the Banner is pretty much the only outlet in town that actively covers the local court system. And that's a lot of what they do. So it doesn't surprise me that they got the story first, because they're crawling all over those dockets every day.
And Dimitri Kalodemus is involved in this.
Yeah.
And Dimitri was...
Long-time quality journalist.
Long-time journalist. Well, asterisk. The asterisk, she was with WSMV for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And she appears occasionally does these specials with News Channel 5.
Yeah, and there are a lot about Nashville history.
Yeah, but she did one during COVID that was just beneath contempt in terms of, going full on with all of the restrictions, etc. And very biased. My friend Dimitri Kalodemus. Probably more of your friend than mine. Anyways, so she's involved with it, but I think Steve's running. They spent a long time raising money, and they're totally nonprofit.
They are.
They're nonprofit. I think they raised like $5 million or something.
Yeah, they
which is what you need.
They were very intentional. They took their time doing it, and they
took them 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and they've got a really solid newsroom full of people.
And the Nashville Banner was the afternoon competitor, the name, for many, many years to the Nashville Tennessean.
Right.
But it stopped printing. It stopped publication.
Oh gosh, it was the late 90s.
Late 90s, yeah, been out of it. That's when there used to be kind of competing newspapers, and the Banner itself was more kind of, if there were such a thing as a conservative outlet, I would say that was.
Oh, it was definitely the conservative outlet in town.
Yeah,
for sure.
But what's interesting about
the publisher and owner, one of the two owners, Kirby Simpkins, his wife, Peaches Simpkins, was Don Sundquist's chief of staff.
Peaches Simpkins. What a great Tennessee name.
Yeah. So, I mean, they were, now, in darker days, the Banner, way back when, not this Banner, but the traditional Banner, back during civil rights, was a segregationist paper.
Yeah. So anyways, so they've got this story, and it's about a lawsuit filed in Middle Tennessee Federal District Court. Filed December 29th of this year. And the participants are Bree Smith is the plaintiff.
Right.
She was a meteorologist for 9 years, from 2016 to January of 2025 at News Channel 5. Her married name is Bree Smith Friedrichs. And they're suing they're suing Scripps Media, Inc., which is the big outlet based in Cincinnati. They own
big media company,
90 local television stations. News Channel 5
I think are still in the newspaper business also.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scripps, yeah. They've been, they were a newspaper company before they got into broadcast.
So plaintiff Bree Smith, having within 90 days received a notice of right to sue from Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, brings this action alleging violations of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 against Scripps Media. Basically, she worked there until 2025. She could no longer tolerate the effects of News Channel 5's culture of sexism, harassment, and retaliation, and felt compelled to decline a contract extension. During that time, she served as a chief meteorologist in all but name. She co-wrote the weather team's coverage schedule and oversaw coverage of severe weather events. On October 13th, 2022, she was voted Best TV News Personality by readers of the Nashville Scene.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's got pretty...
Popular, non-political, trusted local meteorologist.
And basically, she's got a long list of inappropriate behavior from her bosses at News Channel 5.
The bosses are accused of inappropriate behavior.
Yes.
Right.
And apparently, but the upper levels did nothing about it.
Yeah.
So she is suing Scripps, and she's asking for, let's see, I'm looking at the plaintiff right now, prayer for relief, a declaratory judgment that the practice complained of herein are unlawful and violate Title VII. All damages sustained as a result of News Channel 5's conduct, including damages for emotional distress, humiliation, embarrassment, anguish, exemplary and punitive damage, is an amount commensurate with News Channel 5's ability to pay and deter future conduct costs incurred herein, pre-judgment and post-judgment interest. She doesn't actually say the amount. You know, in federal cases, you have to have a demand for over $75,000.
Right.
But this would probably meet that standard, I would think.
Yeah. And I think she's already moved to another TV station.
Has she really?
I thought I saw that she had moved to another one.
Well, could be.
But I got to be honest with you. Your feelings on the Nashville banner notwithstanding, Mike.
Those are not feelings. Those are factual basis.
I like to see media reporting on other media, particularly at the local level. I think it's healthy. I think it's honest. I think that protecting, journalists or newsroom protecting other journalists or other newsrooms is not how you do the job. And I think that I give the Nashville Banner a lot of credibility for covering this, particularly since it's uncomfortable for them, since they have a news content partnership with Channel 5. So I give them a lot of credit.
Here is from the Nashville scene. Meteorologist Bree Smith sues News Channel 5, joins WSMV.
That's it. Yeah, I thought I saw that.
You saw that. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So here's my question for you. In search of truth and justice, where's Phil Williams on this?
I'm going to take a pass on that question, Mike. I think it's a fair question. In fairness to Phil or anybody at Channel 5, they can't comment on it publicly. It's litigation.
Yeah.
It's litigation. But, yeah,
Still, he's a Peabody Award winner.
I'm aware.
You would think, every time you turn around, he tells you that, right?
I'm aware of his accolades. And
he missed this one.
This just isn't about Channel 5. This isn't the first time a lawsuit like this has happened from a local TV station.
This looks like a pretty strong lawsuit.
Well, the culture has changed. We talk on the conservative side of the aisle all the time about, safeguarding women's rights, protecting women in sports. It is a new era when it comes to how you can treat women in this country. And you can't, if those things are true, there are things you cannot do in the workplace anymore.
So
and none of us should want a workplace with that kind of environment.
So News Channel 5 and Scripps Media they're facing a public relations disaster here.
I don't know about a disaster. I bet if you looked all across the country, I bet there are dozens of lawsuits like this out of television newsrooms every year, honestly.
Yeah, but this one's right here in Nashville.
Oh, I know.
And she's joined a competitor.
Yeah, but I don't want to, again, I want to be very careful here. I don't want to downplay the importance of Ms. Smith's role, but she's a meteorologist. She's not an anchor. She's not reporting the news. She's not up at the Capitol talking about what's going on with the legislature or governor. She's telling us what the weather is.
Yeah. So it's a story Phil Williams apparently missed.
Well, it's one I think he was probably constrained from reporting on because he's an employee there.
Why wouldn't he call it out? And if they don't fix the problem,
that's
why shouldn't he
interesting.
resign?
That's interesting.
Why shouldn't he resign?
So if this were at the national level, right? If this were, let's say, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and they knew a lawsuit was coming out, typically you would see the news outlet getting sued, turning it over their newsroom, and self-reporting it before
they didn't do
else
that.
did.
Has News Channel 5 reported it?
Not that
I don't think
aware
so.
of. But you have seen that pattern.
The suit was filed December 29th.
Right.
So they knew.
It's been there for a while.
They knew.
Well, they knew it was coming too, right? So,
so they didn't report it.
Well, and so I mean, but local media is a little different from a astuteness level than national media, and so
my characterization is Phil Williams is afraid to report on this story because it will reflect badly on his news outlet.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I think it's.
I know
probably,
you don't know.
I think it's.
I'm saying that's what I think is the case.
Well, I mean, he may not have actually known it was coming. I mean, that's the thing.
But he knew it.
I mean, everybody knew. Everybody's been involved in
on
litigation
December 29th
that it was filed.
He knew it was filed.
Well, but I mean, you've got to look at it this way: the editors and producers at this news organization, Channel 5 and any other, they've got to make a decision whether to self-report it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so.
They should have self-reported it.
In Phil's defense, he's a reporter. He doesn't get to decide what goes on the air, and so you've got producers and editors.
He's afraid to report on it.
Well, he doesn't have that mandate.
He could resign. He's afraid to resign.
Man, you're really going after Phil.
I am,
and I know you.
He
don't
deserves
like him,
it.
But I'm just trying to tell you the way it works in the newsroom. Your reporters don't get to just slap stuff up on your website.
True.
Run in here and talk
everything.
on the radio. See,
I approve everything.
Okay, so there's a chain of command, and I mean he's.
Well, if a reporter doesn't like that we're not reporting on something, they can resign.
They can.
None of them have because we're so good.
Oh, that's it. Is that it? Yeah, I mean, well, you're an award-winning media outlet, Mike.
Yeah,
but
the Dow Prize. But Phil Williams never will win the Dow Prize.
On balance, I think the Nashville Banner did a really good job.
I agree. I'm just giving Phil Williams a hard time.
I'm aware
because I know you like it so much.
I'm aware. He's a Peabody Award winner, by the way. You need to lighten up a little.
Well, Peabody is nothing compared to the Dow Prize.
Okay.
So another story to hit here. Robin Smith, this is a story at the Tennessee Star. Judge spares ex-Tennessee lawmaker from federal prison just hours before her reporting deadline. Federal judge reduced the sentence of former Tennessee State Rep Robin Smith from prison time to probation months after President Trump granted her co-conspirators pardons. She was supposed to report to a prison in West Virginia at 2 p.m. yesterday. Judge Eli Richardson modified it. I think it's the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, on balance, given the pardons, judicially the right thing to do.
Well, there you go. When we come back, news potpourri, and I won't.
You gonna try to get me in any more trouble, Mike?
I won't give Phil Williams a hard time.
Okay, let's
in news potpourri.
Lay off a poor Phil.
Poor guy. Back after this.
Tom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Soul Tea, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Soul Tea has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Soul Tea for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Soul Tea and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Soul Tea, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Soul Tea
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. impressively, and I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path collagen peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path collagen peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Well, folks, it's that time of day again. Clint Brewer, it's time for News Potpourri. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is News Potpourri. This is the portion of the program where we talk about those stories that are of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, and may have a touch of irony. We're talking about how crazy the leftists and Democrats have become, how belligerent they've become, how they deny common sense and the long history of the United States. Listen to this, Clint, from a Democrat legislator in North Carolina.
State legislator?
State legislator commenting about the Second Amendment.
Oh.
And stop thinking that somehow owning a gun and possessing a gun is a God-given right from the U.S. Constitution or the North Carolina Constitution. It's not. It is not a God-given right.
Lady will suspend momentarily.
That's what they think. It's right there.
Well,
the right to bear arms shall not be infringed in the Constitution.
I guess I could parse her words by saying she used God-given. I don't think that it's a divinely appointed right by our Creator down through the document, our founding documents, but I think it's certainly in the intent of our founding fathers.
Got a bunch of, it's in the intent of our founding fathers.
Yeah.
Crazy. Speaking of crazy, do you see this, Clint? Somebody was arrested for trying to break into J.D. Vance's residence.
I saw that.
And it turns out it's a 26, 27-year-old person who was born a male who is now claiming to be a female.
Oh.
A tranny attack on J.D. Vance's house.
Did they steal anything? Did they vandalize stuff? It sounded...
They broke about 3 or 4 windows trying to get in, and they did not
This
succeed.
is like his official residence as the vice president?
No, his home private residence in Cincinnati.
Oh, wow.
First, a couple things on this. And then this kid's parents, big Democrat donors.
As a vice president, I mean, he came from a relatively humble background. I mean, I'm sure he just lives in a
hillbilly
suburban
$1.3 million house in Cincinnati, which is a basic suburban house.
Yeah.
In a nice suburb
right.
of Cincinnati.
That'd be like living in a neighborhood here in Franklin or Brentwood. Yeah.
Yeah, living in a nice neighborhood in Brentwood.
It's nothing ostentatious or huge.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have those kind of houses in Cincinnati, but still. So there's a tranny lawsuit before the Supreme Court, and they've got evidence. The ACLU is a transgender athlete. I can't even say this on the air.
Wait. We've left the J.D. Vance item. We're on to something
Do you have
else.
more to talk about?
No. I'm saying that
we're in the tranny violence.
I got it.
Tranny.
Okay, just trying to keep up.
Yeah. So basically, the Supreme Court case, before the Supreme Court, this guy is represented by the ACLU. A biological male was competing against girls in women's sports. They refused to compete against him. And he apparently told them to, how do I say this? Blank my blank. How about that?
Okay. Yeah.
The ACLU is supporting this guy. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. Gotta need to pick your battles there, ACLU.
Yeah, but the problem, they don't have any judgment. Oh, guess what? There is a tranny socialist running for governor of Idaho this year. Totally crazy person, right? I think it's a guy trying to be a girl. This is like ridiculous. It's all over the place. But the Democrats are aligned with this.
I think if the Democrats want to get any traction, they need to be talking about the economy. I don't think they will.
No.
But, you know, I think they probably need to focus on things that are common to most people's households.
So Barry Weiss, who's now running CBS News.
I'm a big fan of Barry Weiss.
I'm less so.
I'm going to bow up a little bit if you go after like you did Phil Williams. I like Barry Weiss.
Yeah. I think it's a big job.
Oh, it's a huge job. Yeah.
And
the Tiffany Network, as it's called.
Yeah. So this guy, Tony Dokoupil, is the new Evening News.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You know, I don't know much about him before he got the job. I think he certainly looks the part. I assume you're talking about the statement he came out with ahead of time, saying, I'm not showing any favor to either side. I'm not showing any favor to our corporate owners. Right. We're going to tell it plainly. He did say, and I thought about you when I read this, he did say for far too long this network and others have catered to academics and elites instead of you, the American people, and we're not going to do that anymore in our reporting.
We'll see.
I thought that was very positive.
I think the jury's out. We'll see. I'm skeptical. I still haven't got the call from Barry Weiss to appear on 60 Minutes.
Well, maybe you should be nicer to her on the air, Mike.
No, I'm still going to be.
You got to play the game a little bit if you want to get on the evening news,
man. Going to give her a hard time.
But I did. In all seriousness, if they carry through on that, I think it will be positive for the media.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but we'll see.
Okay,
we'll see. I'm skeptical.
I think it's a big institution, and I think they've got a lot of people.
That's a good point.
Who don't care to change.
It is,
and I think they're going to have to thin the herd a little bit of some of the people not willing to get on board with that attitude, right? But it's nice to see that said out loud.
Interesting. So we got. Guess who had dinner with Donald Trump the other night?
You
and Melania? No, not me.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Elon Musk.
Oh, they back together?
The gang's back together.
The gang's back together.
It's always and now Elon has said he's going to put a whole bunch of money into the midterms.
Well, it's needed.
It's needed. It's going to be close.
It's needed.
It's going to be very, very close.
Yeah.
So we got that. Hey, here's an interesting story. Jasmine Crockett is running for the Senate now
against her party's wishes.
Yeah, she could. I mean, it's going to be a tight one. She could possibly lose in that primary. She's running against.
Oh, in the primary, yes.
Yeah. She could lose the primary.
Well, I mean, her apparently her party's furious with her for doing it. They don't want her doing it.
James Tallarico is, your typical soy boy lefty who's raised a lot of money, and that's who they want.
Hey, he sounds like a good Italian quarterback at Rutgers or something. James Tallarico.
Yeah, he doesn't look like that.
Oh, okay. Well,
he looks like a soy boy.
It sounds like he ought to be a...
He looks like a soy boy lefty.
Okay. That's too bad. He has a good name. It may, if he looked like an extra off The Sopranos, he might have a better shot.
Clint Brewer, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Okay.
Rob Carson's next. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. I hope you have a great day. The website, TennesseeStar.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pouty. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pouty.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com. Listen to Michael Patrick Leahy and make America great again.
FlatFeeNashville.com is a full-service real estate brokerage that charges homeowners a upfront flat fee of $999 to completely list, market, and sell your home. We are all about saving consumers money, saving that equity. Nobody should hire an agent and feel like when that agent walks in the door that agent is more concerned about the down payment on their next Mercedes purchase versus saving the equity that those homeowners have worked hard for. I've spent my entire career in ensuring that the equity that people save and they put into their monthly mortgage every single month, as much of that as we possibly can goes back to them when they go to list and sell that home. The idea is to give homeowners the ability to really create generational wealth.
FlatFeeNashville.com, FlatFeeNashville.com.